The following program contains language, images, and/or subject matter that may be objectionable to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Direct from Albany, New York, it's time for the New Media Zone. With your hosts, Ed and Dave. Tonight, a look at this week's new film and DVD releases. And a chance to win free movie tickets with the poster pair game. And now your hosts, Ed and Dave.
Hello and welcome to the New Media Zone. And Dave here, Ed and Dave with you. Our first regular show back. We had, of course, you enjoyed those reunion shows, the Pier 1 farewell show. But we haven't taped a regular show since the one we did with Jim. Back in March, I think we taped that.
Oh, that's right.
And there was some, jokes about the COVID, and you were coughing, and you said you had COVID, and
It's very tasteless
we know.
because it hadn't yet become this horrific
No,
situation that it is now.
there was talk of distancing, and we knew we were kind of close here. We're 3 feet apart, or even 1, I think.
Now?
Yeah,
It's more like 4 inches.
4 inches. But I don't leave the house, and you're following all protocols, so it should be all right.
I'm out all the time.
You still run. What? When did you retire? I forget now. Was it September, October?
Well, officially
Your last day
was Halloween last year,
Uh-huh.
but I was out by mid-September
Yeah, okay.
because that's how it works.
So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about everything that's been going on. Of course, there's no movies coming out. When we taped that reunion show, we were going to do the run through of what movies have been moved, and I think they've been moved even since then.
Oh,
So we're going to tell you, why don't we jump off with that?
why don't they just stop releasing? Just on demand, just available on demand. Let everyone pay, $5 on demand. Yeah, you're not going to make as much money, but keep people alive. Don't let them go. Don't let them go see a film and end up dying because of it. Don't. Are any of these movies any good?
Well, let's see what has been moved.
Okay.
Unhinged was set to open on July 1st. That didn't happen.
It did not.
And I think they moved it a little later in the month, but I think that has disappeared from the lineup. Now, this one I saw all over the TVs opening. I think it said on demand and also in theaters. Tenet, Christopher Nolan.
Who is Christopher Nolan?
He's the one who did the Batman films, Batman Begins, and the one with Heath Ledger. He also did the movie that confused young Lights Camera Jackson. What was that, Inception?
Is he a director?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. Okay.
You're not familiar with Christopher Nolan?
I'm not. How many Batman films have I seen, Ed? Let's start counting. 0.
None. Did you see the original Michael Keaton
I
one,
saw
perhaps?
bits of it.
Hmm.
So instead of showing films that have come out, we're showing movies that might come out.
Well, this we were going to talk about when they moved them to. Now, all of this is gone. SpongeBob is not coming out, or didn't come out when this airs on the 7th. These have all been moved
Even further down the line.
down. Now, Wonder Woman was August, and that was moved to November, and I think now there's talk next year.
Oh, dear. She'll be 3 years older when it comes out.
The New Mutants, the movie that was pushed off for years,
Years?
and reshoots and all kinds of things, pushed off again.
Oh,
That one they should just put out on demand.
yeah. That's not making any money.
This is still scheduled for September 4th. Now, that's wishful thinking, right?
It is.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And I think even these are starting to talk about moving. Black Widow and the James Bond movie for November. November is going to be no good either.
No, we're going to start you get your flu season going in October, and then next thing you know, we're back to a new strain of the COVID. It'll be the COVID-20. That's what we're going to have next.
Yeah, I don't remember the previous 18 COVID. This is COVID-19.
This is a unique COVID that required a number and making it very, I don't know, popular isn't the right word, but so yeah, we're all going to die.
I remember we're going back to the plastic bags. Remember back in the carefree days of March when this was the biggest problem we had. We're all going to be gone from a virus long before these plastic bags do anybody in.
Yeah, and then now your grocery stores are stopping with the plastic. They put the hold on that. Now there's no more plastic. It's the plastic ban. Now you're going to start paying for your paper bags. 5 cents for the paper bag, 15 cents if you want a handle.
Right, they won't touch the bags.
No, they won't touch the bags. But which is not unusual, especially for where I used to shop, and I won't mention any names, Price Chopper Market 32, where during the height of the COVID, if you brought your own bag, which was always supposed to be a good thing, Ed.
Yeah.
Bring your own bag.
Uh-huh.
They wouldn't touch it. You had to bag it yourself, which, from my vantage point, was no different than the other years before that, where they never would bag it for you. And I used to say to them, I think I deserve an employee discount for doing your work.
Right.
But then they stopped touching them anyway, and then they had the big sneeze guard in front of them, and you got to slide your money underneath a little bit. It's just, everything's got these plastic, everything. We're not allowed to touch you. There's no more human contact, ever. Ever. Again, which, not so bad, except when necessary.
I'll tell you, I wasn't thrilled with that bag change and bringing your own bags, but I didn't mind it once it started, and I never stopped. I just bring the Walmart bags in, and I know Hannaford wasn't letting you bring your own bags in for a while. My bags are much cleaner than the plastic bags, which are kind of hanging off the rack that you have to do yourself, and of course everybody's hands are all over the plastic trying to pull it off of there. I didn't want to touch that.
And they're pulling down their mask and going,
oh yeah,
and then touching it.
A lot of masks down around the chin. Of course, Walmart is now checking everybody that walks in, and you can only walk in the one entrance.
Checking in what respect? Are they taking your temperature? Because I will not go to any establishment where I have to have a physical.
Ooh.
Well, if they tell me to turn my head and cough, unless it's a nice waitress, I'm not doing it. Don't take my temperature.
At Walt Disney World, I think they check everybody's temperature, don't they, on the way in?
I don't know. Well, it's not a place I frequent because I can't afford it. But no, I'm not going to a restaurant and then having hold on, sir, got to check your temperature. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not going to a restaurant anytime soon. And you said you're going to
I've been like six
today,
times.
wherever that is.
I've been like to a restaurant 6 times in the past. Well, at least that much.
Inside?
Yes.
Oh my God.
In the past month, at least 6, possibly 7 or 8 times.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was skittish getting the Red Robin and the Olive Garden takeout, where you open your back trunk and you signal to the guy to throw it in the back there. I was iffy on that. You're going into restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Breakfast at least 4 times at the diner. Then to the City Line. Yeah, it's got to be that. Yeah. I'm still hanging in there, folks. I'm still okay.
You're still okay. Yeah.
So it's not. It's Albany. It's not New York City, which is actually doing pretty well. It's Albany, so your chances of getting it are pretty slim. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right now we're doing all right, but the other parts of the country,
it's the tourist areas where the people are saying, "I've had enough of this. I'm going into a crowded beach where everyone is sick. I'm going to the beach in the Carolinas and Florida and California and Texas. I don't know about. Texas is its own country. They should just cut them out of here and just let them go do what they want. They've always been doing that anyway. But it's these touristy places where people are just they're going insane. They're willy-nilly going up to people, strangers, and kissing them.
Yeah, you watch things today in the game shows, and of course they got to warn you, Don Cuyanas or whatever he is. I don't know, what would you do when he pops out and surprises people, they have to tell people that this was filmed before the virus.
Richard Dawson could not survive in this environment. He couldn't.
Kissed everybody.
He did.
Against their will, almost. Some of the women, and everybody was kissed. The mother, the daughters, going down the line.
On the lips.
Right.
Yeah. You know, he couldn't, even if we didn't have COVID, he couldn't do that today.
No.
But it was very innocent. It wasn't like, you know, he didn't stick his tongue out that I noticed. It was just a little peck. That's all. He couldn't do it. He couldn't survive.
Now, one thing you see a lot of people doing are these online reunions where they get casts of movies together, and sometimes they'll read lines.
Uh-oh. Where are you going with this, Ed?
Well, I happen to find, not the original sketch we did, that is still in the buckets over here, but I found the script of a sketch we did in 1981.
Ooh.
And it was My Three Charlies.
Was that what ended up being called, or it ended up being called My Three Carters?
I
Can't remember.
It should be My Three Carters. But on this thing here, it says My Three Charlies.
It does.
I think it's My Three Carters. What it was, how this came about.
How did this come about?
This came about, I was trying to do Steve Douglas, Fred McMurray.
Right, this is from My Three Sons.
Right.
A show from the 60s, and I think it made it to the early 70s, I think.
I think I tried to do it on the match game we were doing.
Okay.
Because you did Uncle Charlie very well.
Right.
So I was trying to do Steve Douglas, and it sounded like Jimmy Carter. So there's where we came up with, let's do a sketch, it's My Three Sons, but instead it's Jimmy Carter is the father, which was kind of old then because he was voted out in 80, right? But it was only a year later.
Yeah, well, he's still fresh in everyone's memory.
So it was kind of a little spoof of My Three Sons and, you know, how innocent that show was.
Right.
So you were Uncle Charlie in
I
this,
was.
And I was Jimmy, of course, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
And my brother was Ernie, I think.
Yes.
And
Doug Winter?
Doug Winters.
Who was he in this? He wasn't.
He was Billy.
Oh, that's right. He was Billy. Came in with, yes, he came in. Yeah.
And then I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Jim, who we had on the show.
As Ernie?
Was Chip.
Chip.
But for this special version, online, Dave, with us.
Okay. Oh, no.
It's my brother, Mike, reprising his role as Ernie.
Hey! Wow! This Zoom thing, right? Crazy. But we're here, but we're not together. And we're reprising the role I am of Ernie. We did as, boy, we were early teens, weren't we, guys? My Three Charlies. We did it in the producer's old basement. And it was one of our first bits, probably, where we actually parodied something. And I was Ernie. And Ernie, I think Ernie did have the spectacles, didn't he? Yeah. Right? And he's a little pronated here. Little, right? Corn cob through the fence post. So I was Ernie, and I would love to join you boys in the reading of this beautiful script here.
Okay.
We also did get a hold of Doug Winters, the original Billy Carter.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I remember doing this bit back in 1981. Sort of. Been a long time.
He's here with us. And stepping in as a special guest voice, will be playing the role of Chip. All right, you're also going to be the announcer in this.
Am I?
You do a good announcer
So I'm just
voice.
doing the announcer and Uncle Charlie.
Okay, this is taking place in the Carter home.
And now, it's time for another visit with everyone's favorite family and that perfect figure of fatherhood, Jimmy Douglas.
Chip, Ernie, where is everybody? Uncle Charlie, are you out there?
This is bringing back such memories. What the hell do you want?
Hello, Charlie. Where's Chip and Ernie?
They had to stay after school. They'll be home in a little while. I'm going back into the kitchen. You want some tuna fish?
Why don't you make me a peanut butter sandwich?
When I was in Singapore, all I would eat is tuna fish.
Oh, Charlie. Chip, Ernie, where have you been? You're late.
We had to stay after school. Ernie got a girl pregnant in gym class today.
Ernie, I'm shocked at this. I thought you knew how to handle yourself.
Gee, I'm sorry, Dad. I won't do it again.
Ernie, this is a 1960s family show. You can't get a girl pregnant to the 70s. Ernie, what do you plan on doing on your dilemma?
Well, I don't know.
Here's your peanut butter sandwich.
Charlie, maybe you can help us.
What's the problem? Ernie got a girl pregnant, Uncle Charlie. What's the matter with you, Jim? I thought you told him all about that stuff, about how to wrap that rascal and keep themselves out of trouble.
I don't know what you're going to do, Ernie. You've gotten yourself and this family into a lot of hot water. The pressure groups are going to be all over our butts. They're going to kick us off the air just because you can't keep a leash on your hormones.
It wasn't Ernie's fault. The girl seduced him in the boys' locker room.
Well, that's right, Dad. She was hiding in the shower. She jumped at me naked. What was I supposed to do?
I don't care what you say, Jimmy. I think it's downright healthy.
As long as we're on the subject of unwanted pregnancies, where's your Uncle Billy?
He should be home in a little while.
Well, why don't we get ready for dinner? We'll discuss this later, Ernie.
Hi, bro. I'm home.
Ernie got himself in hot water again, Billy.
What's he done this time, Jimmy?
He got a girl pregnant in gym class.
That's no problem. It's happened to me a lot.
Billy, I'm shocked. You never told me about this.
I don't know why not. They were right under your nose.
What have? Oh, Billy. And then, of course, a bunch of little kids from the neighborhood ran in. So hearing material which was way above their heads at the time. But there we are. That was pretty good.
That's all right, yeah.
We still have our voices down, and good to check in with all our folks, some original actors, and you actually did a good job with the various voices.
Well, I just tried to mix them up so they wouldn't sound exactly the same. But for those of you who really want to know what Jimmy sounded like.
Which one? Jimmy Carter?
No,
or Steve Douglas? Neither one of which.
It was more like, I didn't like, Fred McMurray always seemed to start off every sentence with, no.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, he just had this weird voice. I don't know what you're going to do, Ernie. You've gotten yourself in this family in a lot of hot water. That's just, go watch an old Fred McMurray film. Actually, maybe when he's a little older, because back in the 40s, he wasn't quite like that. But then he got older. He tended to talk like that a little bit.
I remember I did some line, and you did what?
Well, Charlie, you were in Singapore. I was where? Well, Charlie, you were in Singapore. Why am I sounding like Jimmy Carter? Let me answer the phone.
You were doing the actual, what should have been done. Oh, my.
My three Charlies.
Oh. Have you seen any of the online reunions or anything? Back to the Future they did?
I haven't really turned on a TV, and I don't know how long. I just don't, there's nothing on.
There is nothing on.
Nothing. I watch a little bit of Netflix, a couple shows. I'm into this Australian show called Rake, which was made by Fox several years ago with Greg Kinnear as the main actor, and it lasted a handful of episodes. But the Australian one is pretty good, so I've been watching that. It's got like 4 seasons to it. But, you know.
Have you seen these new shows they're trying to do, like the Celebrity Watch Party? Have you seen that one?
No.
This is they get a bunch of celebrities around and they watch TV and then they comment on them.
Ah, sounds exciting.
They had the Osbournes.
Okay, so we're watching them
Tyra
watch TV.
Banks, yes.
Okay.
they'll show like an episode of Dr. Pimple Popper,
Oh dear.
and then you see Ozzy. "Oh," you see them reacting.
Sharon. Oh, you don't like anyway.
He was talking through a puppet for some reason a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was hiding his shaky hand or what was going on. Where he had a puppet. He was pretty funny though. He got out some funny lines. Ozzy.
I have not seen that. I know that there's a show with, well, I think it's probably been on by the time this airs, with Jeff Foxworthy, where people, I guess it's done virtually, where they're showing like treasures that they have in their house, and they're trying to figure out how much it's worth.
Oh.
I don't know what it's called, what it's worth, or what something like that. But it's not like, you know how American Pickers, they're going to places.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not now, but they're going to places and they're like, "Ooh, look at this! You have this. This is worth so much." Now I guess they're going to be doing something with Jeff Foxworthy, where people are going to, I don't know, say, "Oh, I've got this great thing I want to show you online," and they tell you how much it's worth. I don't know. That's what TV's become.
Yeah, I've seen people doing on their interviews, at the late night interviews, they'll pull something from off the shelf or something. So I guess somebody took that idea and added the "what's it worth" element.
Now I've noticed the Kimmel show has been like cut to a half hour.
Yes.
Is he gonna? Do we know if he's gonna go back to his full hour?
Well, he went to nothing because he's off for the summer. He has guest hosts coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, they put Nightline on because of all the news.
Right.
Actually, the Jimmy Kimmel half-hour show is pretty good. Sometimes those shows are stuff with, people you don't want to see. This is like a half hour. They get the big guest on. They do one bit, and that's it. Out the door. So, any other shows have you seen?
The only show I watch with any degree of regularity is the Bill Maher show.
Okay.
Real Time with Bill Maher. That's the only one I watch.
Now,
he's off for July. He always takes July off.
You said you saw that for free, or you think you must have HBO?
No, I do not.
You don't. Somehow that's on YouTube.
It's
or
on
somewhere?
YouTube. It is either live streamed at the same time, or if I'm not home to watch it, because I sometimes go out. I still do. I'll just watch it the next morning or next day, and you just find it on the YouTube there and watch it. But that's the show. I do like that show.
I was looking through Amazon Prime, and I knew nothing about this show. It's Scooby-Doo and Guess Who?
Oh.
It's Scooby-Doo, and it's set up like the original Scooby-Doo show from '69, plus the Scooby-Doo movies where there's a guest star, and they're only a half hour, and they have guest stars like Weird Al come in, and Kenan Thompson, and they're animated, and it's a little like wink at the camera type things. It's more for adults that grew up with Scooby-Doo. And Magilla Gorilla will show up, and other Hanna-Barbera. It's pretty entertaining. I think it's free through the end of July, so at this point, I don't know if it's still on free there. So that was the only interesting thing I discovered during this time, that and the Celebrity Watch Party.
I believe the Pornhub Prime or whatever they offer. That's free.
Yeah, they offered their high-def free, tier free, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
It wasn't free enough, but now they added the special tier, which was high def or 4K or who knows what.
It wasn't free enough.
All you have to do is click on that. You remember when we had to go into the woods to find a magazine or something in the 70s?
I remember when Price Chopper used to sell Playboy.
Right. I remember we got the Bo Derek issue. It was right. It was in front of the
Customer service.
Customer service, yes, and right to the side of that, where of course where everybody was walking up was the Playboy rack, and there was Bo Derek. So
Could you just take it off the shelf, or did you have to ask for
No,
it?
you could grab it. It was like a single display thing, like the Metrolands. You went up there and you picked it up, and you got
and went home and enjoyed it.
Right.
But the point is, you had to make a special trip to get the porn. Whereas now you could just lay there, and there it is. Oh, reach over, grab your tablet. Reach over, grab your phone, and there it is. That's your.
I believe if I go into one of my tubs somewhere, I can find that Bo Derek issue with a Price Chopper sticker on the front. I'm pretty sure. They actually had a price then.
And then I remember having the Jenny McCarthy issue.
That was later on.
Yeah, and she did one. Well, I'm slow to the program. She did like a Christmas one where she was sitting on some old dude's lap in the buff. And no wonder he was smiling.
Right.
Because I'd be smiling too.
Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, she was a couple of times she was in that magazine.
Yes, and of course Pam Anderson was.
She was a staple.
Of course, I don't know. I didn't see any big hoopla about it, but they did their last issue, Prince issue, I believe.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think maybe it was rolling out about the time all this virus started. But,
I know not too long ago they had announced they were no longer doing the nude.
Right.
And then they decided, well, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that's why people look at our magazine. So we went back to that. So now you're saying that they're no longer doing it in print issue.
Right. It's all over.
It's all digital. It's digital boobs, everybody.
That poor local girl who was, remember, we examined
Yes.
every inch, and there was quite a...
With the tiniest of little bars that you put over.
Right. She was one of the last in there, I guess.
Wow.
I see here we have about 5 minutes left. Now, should we bother to attempt to play the game since people aren't even going to be able to use the tickets?
It's a poster pairs game, folks, where despite the fact there's no films out, we feel it is important to us to provide to you some form of entertainment / potential winnings. So we want you to have tickets in hand. Once theaters reopen in 2027, we want you to have tickets in hand so you can go to a movie on us, which was our old logo that never really caught on. So it's the poster pairs game where you send into an entry via email with 2 numbers from 1 to 6. We select your entry, reveal what's behind the numbers. If they match, you win 2 free movie passes. That's really what Ed wanted me to say all along.
Okay. Now, next week, since it's been months since we have looked at the DVD releases and what has come out, we have a show next week. It's going to be pretty much mostly looking at all the releases that came out back to March.
Oh.
Now, there were still DVD releases. They're going to slow up now because usually now is when they would release the things that came out in the spring. But since nothing came out in the spring, everything is going to dry up. Movies, DVD releases. I don't know. This is when they usually start shooting the TV shows for the new season. The end of July. So I don't know what's going to happen with the new TV season. We're going to watch Ozzy watch old episodes of the Pimple Popper, I guess, is what we're going to see in the fall.
Wow. Never really thought of that.
Yeah.
And did you know there's a coin shortage?
Yes.
Why? Is it because there's no one working to make coins? Or is it just people hoarding coins like they hoarded toilet paper?
I think most people are using their cards because there's less contact. And then the few people that are using cash, there's not a lot of change. I know I brought enough change over to McDonald's where I went a couple days ago to help them out. I don't know what they like less, handling change, or they have to hand the card thing out the window now. And then you have to punch it in and touch where other people have punched in numerous times before. So, it's a lot of fun, 2020. And we'll see you next time with DVD releases.
The New Media Zone has been a Cable 2000 production.